Thank you for all being here and for supporting this. It's been a dream of mine to get this word out to the veterinary and animal community. Just for a show of hands, how many people have the best dog in the world? No, you're looking at him right here. This is Buddy. Buddy is one of my own dogs, and actually our whole journey started with my wife Stephanie, who's a board-certified veterinary ophthalmologist. She injured her back, and 13 years of university training, a year and a half into our practice, she couldn't work anymore. And we tried everything that was everything, and nothing was really helping her. And along came an innocuous-looking flex pad. Anybody ever seen one of those? Yeah, the guy that loaned it to her, she looked at him like he was eating live spiders, like, why would this work for me? And she had one of those miraculous experiences, and in 15 minutes her back stopped hurting for the first time in a year. And how many of you folks thought that might be something like the placebo effect? Yeah, that's what I thought. That went over like a turd in a punch bowl at my house, I'll tell you. What we did was, soon into that, our little dog, a Cavalier King Charles Spaniel, had a disc rupture in her back. It must be genetic. She got it from Steph, and she had spinal surgery performed, and she did really well with that. But after having the surgery, she would have other discs in her back that would give her an equal amount of grief, not quite severe enough to require surgery. And we'd put her on medication, and she would get a side effect from that. And we'd put her on medication for that. She'd get a side effect for that. Both of those side effects caused us to get the carpets cleaned in the house, and then we'd start all over again. And a year into this was when we came along. So we put a little device, a little mini, on her chest harness between her spine in the middle of one of her events, and an hour later she jumped up from the floor onto my lap with absolutely no discomfort in her back. And we never took that off for the next 4.5 years, and she never had another problem. And that's when I understood that we really have a hold of something powerful here. Thank you. A little bit of a head tilt here. His head's tilted a little bit to the right. Can I have the next slide, please? These are the thermographic images that Curtis Bennett, and Curtis Bennett is just doing a marvelous work, and I'd like to acknowledge him for what he's doing. The image on the left, you can see that Buddy's head tilt is to the right, and at the base of the right ear is the vestibular apparatus, or the area of balance in the body. And we have for years suspected that this condition in dogs is a vascular problem, a blood flow problem to that area of the brain. And if you look, you can see that the area around the right side of his skull is darker blue. And if you look on the thermal scale on the side, that's colder. So there's less blood flow going into that part of his head. We used a device, and after 11 minutes, the images on the right were generated. And can you see that area of his head has equalized, that the heat is now the same on both sides? But he seeks out the palm, he looks for it, and he likes to lay his head up against it when it's running. This is much more complicated than just increasing blood flow or decreasing blood flow. Can I have the next slide, please? This is a picture of Buddy's butt. Sorry, if you're Canadian, that's his bum. Okay, and if you look, this was on the other end, he had a very common problem. This is called a hot spot, and right over his right hip, he was chewing at himself. And can you see that little red dot at the arrow on the left side where it's very, very hot? Same thing, we used the palm 10 minutes, and can you see where that area has cooled down significantly? So in his head, the area the area warmed up, and in his butt, the area calmed down. That's not a medical claim. It's not going to make your butt cooler if that's a problem with you. What we have a hold of here is something that balances the body. It's not about pushing the body towards something. It's about balancing it back towards center. And that, I think, is one of the things that makes this such a phenomenal technology.